After the completion of the historic Pran Pratishtha ceremony in Ayodhya today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi informed the gathering that besides performing the usual rituals, he in fact also apologized to Ram Lalla. The Prime Minister said, and I quote, "There must be something lacking in our effort, sacrifice and penance that we could not do this work for so many centuries. Today the work has been completed. I believe that Lord Sri Ram will definitely forgive us." Even as Narendra Modi sought forgiveness from Lord Ram, several opposition leaders, as we all know, have boycotted the consecration ceremony, calling it a BJP-RSS event before the 2024 general elections. Now, there is no doubt that the construction of the Ram Mandir will have an impact on the polls that are just about 3 months away now. But is it fair to reduce a momentous occasion to a mere political gimmick? Will the people buy the narrative of the opposition? We take this conversation forward. I have with me Savio Rodriguez of the BJP, Advocate Gyanendra Mishra, political analyst with us as well, and Himanshu Bhatt, senior journalist with us as well. Let me begin with Himanshu Bhatt. Himanshu Bhatt, even as the entire nation today was glued in to the television screens watching the consecration ceremony, on the one hand you had a Rahul Gandhi who was attempting to enter a temple in Assam, and he says that he was not allowed entry, and now he's staging a dharna. We have a Mamata Banerjee who's kept an inter-religious faith ceremony in Calcutta, and she's asked people of all faiths to join her. What do you think could have possibly then gone wrong if the opposition leaders had today decided to maybe perhaps sit in the audience while the consecration ceremony was happening?
Well, nothing wrong could have happened, but many wrong things happened. You were talking of Rahul Gandhi trying to enter a temple in Assam, and then he was sitting on a dharna. Now there again, the name of Ram was taken. They were singing Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram. See, the Ram comes everywhere. And as you said, you cannot take away politics, at the same time you cannot take away Sanatan Dharma. We are in Bharat, that one must understand and keep it in their minds that this is a majority Hindu Sanatan country. Now, in which country of the world, let me give you an argument first and answer me on that first. Which country in the world where you have a majority of 80% from one sect of people, one religion, and still they go to the court, peacefully resolve an issue which is of two religions, and then build a temple? Where can it happen? Can it happen in any Islamic country? Can it happen in any country which is a Christian faith? I need an answer to that first. Another thing, today Narendra Bhai said that after, Ram Lalla was established in its rightful place after 500 years, what he said first, Ram is not fire, but energy. Aag nahi hai, urja hai. Try and understand this. There were so many people from the opposition, so many doves, as they call it, used to say, this will create fire, communal disharmony in the country. He said, it is the establishment of this Ram Lalla idol there has created an energy. And he said that's a Rashtra Urja, nation's energy. Dev hai to desh hai. There's another thing what he said. Dev hai to desh hai, Ram hai to Rashtra. The Kal Chakra has turned. The wheel of times has turned.
Yes.
And that wheel of time, when it turns, everything is in the favor. You have to take advantage of it and make Bharat a developed country. Take India, the journey of India to Bharat in coming 5-10 years has to be taking place this time. And that is what Sanatan says. It's all inclusive. He even said that. Ram is not mine, Ram is not yours, Ram is all of us. वो सबका है. Who says them to say Ram's name? But they choose not to. Baghe Babar was visited by Nehru ji, Indira ji, Rajiv ji, and Rahul ji. Which one of them came to Ram Lalla in the tents? That's my question. Or any big temple, let's say Kashi Vishwanath. It was Nehru ji who insisted, it is there in his writing with Rajendra Prasad ji, that you should not be participating in Somnath temple's congregation. What does it suggest? So politics is going to come in this, whether you like it or not, because our history says so.
Right.
The 75 years of checkered history of Bharat, India, will bring politics because of that. Because Sanatan never teaches you doing any of these things. But they are happening.
Right.
And it will happen. And when elections are too near, yes, people who believe in it will benefit. People who don't believe in it, people will teach them inflation. It's as simple as that. You have to see at times, straight line. So many things are topsy-turvy. In politics, as they say, nothing is black and white. It's always a gray. But at times, if you see either black or white, you come to a conclusion very, very clearly. And that is what I have to say, Devika.
Right, absolutely. Himanshu, but I'll come back to you in just a moment. Advocate Gyanendra Mishra, let me bring you into the conversation as well before we listen into what the Prime Minister had said today. Yes, there are a lot of people today who say that there is an attempt to politicize Ram Mandir, that the timing of the consecration ceremony was not a mere coincidence. A lot of people also suggest that the temple construction is not complete and there was a hurry to do this Pran Pratishtha ceremony simply because the elections are inching closer. Let's for a minute assume that, okay, maybe all of that is true. And yes, perhaps that did play in on the BJP's mind when it was perhaps making suggestions as to when the ceremony should take place. Given that there could be a political impact, do you think then it was perhaps the correct strategy for the opposition to simply boycott the event by saying that this is a BJP-RSS event? Or are they not being able to understand the larger sentiment that looms in the country, in the nation today, when millions of people are watching and they are not watching simply to watch a Narendra Modi walk into the temple? Millions of people are watching to get that first glimpse of Ram Lalla. That is the video that is going viral online. It is not of Narendra Modi or a Yogi Adityanath or anybody else performing the rituals or in fact doing the puja. It is simply that one video of Ram Lalla. So do you feel that it was perhaps once again not the best strategy of the opposition to boycott the event, saying that this is nothing but a political gimmick, because maybe they don't understand the ramifications it has in a larger political game?
No, Devika, see, first of all, you said that so many people are telling that the timing has been kept politics in mind. It is not so many people, but it is the poor Shankaracharya who represents in its purest and its wisest form the Sanatan Hindu Dharma. I ask the first question, do you not agree that the final interpreter at the epitome of understanding of the wisdom and theology of Sanatan Dharma rests with the four Shankaracharya? And the four Shankaracharya are categorically telling, quoting the Vedas, quoting the Dharma Shastra, that this consecration of the temple or the Ram Lalla's statue is being done in an incomplete temple. The Sikhara of the temple, the Kalasa of the temple, the flag of the temple, which represents the body, the entire lively of the Lord Rama has not been completed, but yet the consecration was forced upon, keeping the mind the political and electoral strategy in place. I believe this act is the most atrocious act against the Hindu Dharma, the Sanatan Dharma, and therefore, being a true Hindu, being a true Sanatani, I really saddened that at the political ambition of few individual, the purity of the Sanatan Dharma, the purity of the Hindu Dharma has been sacrificed. And it is very, very unfortunate. That is the fundamental point I am asking. And if anybody can give the answer, that why there was such an hurry, how the 22nd January was such an important and auspicious day, that the construction of the shikhara of the temple, the kalasa of the temple, and the hoisting of the flag on the temple, which makes the temple complete, which makes the body of the Lord Ram complete, could not have waited.
Okay, I'm
Is
going to
it
get
not?
Okay.
Is it? Yes.
Okay, Advocate
So that's
Gyanendra Mishra,
my first question.
I will give Savio an opportunity to respond to that. I'll come to you in just a moment, Savio. But Advocate Gyanendra Mishra, you say that let's keep the good advocate on the screen. Advocate Mishra, you say that as a Hindu today you are saddened. Are you telling me that you didn't watch the ceremony? Did you watch the ceremony?
I watched the ceremony.
So when you saw the
happy,
first glimpse of Ram Lalla, as a Hindu I'm asking you, you said it yourself, right, that you're a devout Hindu. So I'm just on that premise, I just want to understand from you. When you saw the first glimpse of Ram Lalla, what was the feeling you had? Was it of sadness?
No, so I'll answer that question. Out of the 30 minutes ceremony that I watched, or the 40 minutes of ceremony I watched, I calculated 36 minutes was on the Prime Minister and the other dignitaries who were present within the temple and in the Garbhagriha, and only 2 minutes on the Lord Rama. So that's the one thing. The Prime Minister from entering, walking alone in the temple without any other individual visual, and the 100 cameras, streaming it across the country, where in Royal Gate, the Prime Minister is walking. And then the entire ceremony, the Lord Rama was there for the 2 minutes, and 36 minutes the camera was on the Prime Minister.
Okay.
That's the first thing I watched. Second thing, I think it is a very unique story that is being played by the media and all, that the opposition against the consecration of Ram, against the construction of the temple, it is the saddest and the most contrived interpretation I can.
But how do you say that the media is playing this? The media is simply reporting what the opposition is saying. The media is simply reporting what the opposition is saying. The opposition is calling it a political gimmick.
No, I am answering to you. The opposition said, the Congress said, everybody is free in their own faith. Every Congress worker or every other individual is free to go to the temple, to attend the consecration, to participate in the consecration, visit the Ayodhya before, on the date of consecration, and after that in accordance to their faith. But 3 leaders have been invited. These 3 leaders will not attend the consecration on 22nd January because it is less a consecration, more of a political event, where the chief minister is giving lectures, the prime minister is giving the lecture, the one saint who came and started praising the prime minister as if he is the only person who contributed in the construction of the Ram temple, forgetting the sacrifices of thousands and thousands of Hindus and car sevaks and other individuals belonging to each party. So therefore, I think the opposition was well within its right.
When praise has to be given, it comes to the leader, and when you have to present criticism, that also comes to the leader. Unfortunately, that's the way of life.
I don't think
when we talk about winning wars, it is attributed to the leadership of the Prime Minister at the time.
No, I
And
don't.
one
I don't
hardly
think that
ever
Prime
say,
Minister has. I don't think Prime Minister has any significant contribution towards the construction of the Ram Temple. Look at the history of the construction. There is a journey for the construction of the
okay,
Ram
all right.
Temple from
Okay, you
1949
feel that,
onwards.
okay, your
Yes, each.
okay, your
No,
initial premise,
just
let's
give
come
me
back to
one second.
that. You feel that, okay, you
Yeah.
feel that the Prime Minister has not made any significant
No,
contribution
no,
towards the
just give me
construction of
two
the Ram
seconds.
Temple, regardless of the
Just
fact
give me
that
two
it has
seconds.
been constructed under him. So obviously you
No, no,
can't take that away from him, right? He
I
was
will,
Prime Minister when the judgment came out. You can say it was a coincidence. It happened to be that he was Prime
Yes,
Minister, but at least
it was a
during
coincidence.
during a
It
very
was a
tough time in the
coincidence.
world, they decided to go ahead with the
No,
construction.
no,
So
no, no, no,
it's
no.
unfair to try
See,
and take away all of it from the
no, no.
BJP to simply call it a
Devika,
political gimmick. I'll come back to you,
Devika.
Gyanendra Mishra. Savio Rodriguez,
Yes.
you've been hearing out Advocate Mishra very patiently. I'd like you to, I'm going to give you an opportunity to now respond to that. His first premise clearly being that it wasn't, the opposition does not feel anything against the consecration, but they didn't agree with the manner in which it has happened. And then, of course, the whole controversy around the Shankaracharya's key voices who've come out and said that they're also not in support of it happening in what they believe was a rushed manner. How does the BJP then respond to that?
You know, Devika, I'm not the spokesperson for the BJP, though I'm a part of the BJP. But let me share my view as an Indian Christian on how I feel about the Pran Pratishtha today. As an Indian Christian, I'm extremely proud, and I believe with Bhagwan Ram returning back to Ayodhya, India will now rise as Bharat. Now, why do I say that? Because I'm not an expert on the beliefs that and the rituals and the practice that are followed by my Hindu sisters and brothers. But I do believe that Sanatan Dharma, which is at the core of the Hindu philosophy and ideologies and beliefs, is an inclusive thought process. It's an inclusive form of spirituality, and it goes beyond religion. So when my friend Mr. Mishra talks about the opinion of the Shankaracharyas, let me ask him, because I have limited knowledge, but the Shankaracharyas, with my limited knowledge, are people who are devotees of Lord Shiva or Bhagwan Shiva. But as far as Lord Ram is concerned, or Bhagwan Ram is concerned, he's actually an incarnation of Vishnu. So quite frankly, there is obviously difference of opinions that will arise, and it arises every time, whether it is in a religious institution, whether it's in a political institution, or whether it's in work that we do. We'll always have difference of opinion. What is important? The important aspect of it is that there is an enormous number of people in this country and around the world who believe in Bhagwan Ram, who believe that there has been something missing in this country that needed to have come back after 500 years. And whether that has happened because of the BJP or not, I think it has a lot to do with providence. That Lord Ram or Bhagwan Ram is coming back to Ayodhya, and that's why India will rise as Bharat. The politics around it will always continue to play. That's the inherent quality of a politician, to play politics. The inherent quality of a critic, like Mr. Mishra, my good friend, is to criticize. But there's a larger interest over here. The larger interest is not the vasta of the people of India. It is the asta of the people of India. The asta, the devotion, the love, the dedication, the determination, and the prayers of the people of India, the people of Bharat, to see the realization of the Ram Mandir and Bhagwan Ram coming back to the Ram Mandir after 500 years. And it is that devotion, it is that asta that is seeing this energy, this urja that Prime Minister Narendra Modi talked about. It's not a fire. It is an urja. It is a positive energy that is going to drive the unification of every Bharatiya irrespective of religion. Because Sanatan Dharma is above religion. People with very limited understanding of the true beauty of Sanatan Dharma categorize Sanatan Dharma as a religion. Sanatana Dharma is not a religion. Sanatana Dharma is the very existence of life that connects every human being to the universal consciousness. And that is exactly what the coming back of Bhagwan Ram to Ayodhya is doing for the rest of India. In fact, look at the energy of the believers outside of India. Look at the energies of the believers, whether it's in the Gulf countries, whether it's in the US, whether it's in Australia, whether it's in other parts. Why is this happening? It is happening primarily because that asta, that devotion, has seen a materialization, has seen a realization after hundreds of years. And that energy, no political party, no nation, or no anti-Indian can ever fight against. And
Right.
that is what the opposition is not understanding. You are trying to fight an energy of positivity, which has been the devotion of the people of Bharat for hundreds of years. You cannot fight that. So it is be prudent for the opposition to eat and come down the high horse and be a little humble to understand that the power of Sanatan Dharma cannot be erased.
Okay.
The power of Sanatan Dharma is the positive energy inside every single Bharatiya and every single individual in this world. And you want to fight that energy will turn fire to you, but to everybody else it's energy.
Okay, Savio, I'm running out of time, but Himanshu, but you also wanted to reply to what Advocate Gyanendra Mishra has had to say.
No, I don't want to reply him. That's his point of view, and he's entitled for his point of view. But I was just talking of real political sense, because the topic says Mandir and politics. See, it's real politics that's being played out. Once you know that you have lost the game, you will leave no stone unturned to wrest it back. And that is what these people are doing. The people who are opposing that has brought out one after another all sorts of things, in that Shankaracharya also
But Himanshu, but is that in line with the sentiment on the ground? Ultimately, as
See, that is what
your
I am
job
coming
is
to.
to sense the pulse of the people.
Yes, that is what I am coming to. This is what I am coming to. See, it's been 10 years now. The opposition is in opposition only in majority of the day of Bharat. That says a lot of things. And now, to say that they are sensing the pulse of people, well, I think they are in the wonderland. Because all you have to do was, just from 21st morning onwards, or even 7 days before that, you have to go across India and see the amount of Ram Bhaktas and, the saffron flags with Bhagwan Ram symbol flying fluttering on their house and apartments. That will just give you an idea. It's as simple as that. But see, when people do not want to understand, people do not want to see with the open eyes, what can you do with them? This is the basic problem. And then they want to play politics.
Right.
Money the sentiment. And that is what works, it works not in their favor, but against them. And that's why, so many political analysts at times say, BJP's biggest friend is Rahul Gandhi. This is what is exactly happening here.
Okay.
This is what is exactly happening here, because they talk of all sorts of things, but not the real politics.
Okay, I'm going to give a last opportunity to Advocate Gyanendra Mishra. And Advocate Mishra, I'd just like to understand from you as well. Is the decision of the opposition really in line with what the people on the ground are feeling, with the pulse of the nation?
No, I feel very saddened when we so openly now, mix the religion with the politics. I asked one question, that today, obviously, there are 80% Hindu in this country. And the way we are trying to polarize the religion for the political gain.
But when you say that, basis what?
Let me say tomorrow.
We end up making these sweeping comments that there is religious polarization taking place in India. But when I ask how, on what basis, when the Ram Mandir is being constructed, right next to that, the road is also being constructed, sir. Right next to that, the Awas is also being constructed, the Shauchalaya is also being constructed. And those schemes are not asking you about your religion. They're not checking what religion you belong to before the money comes into your account.
I don't know what this argument is. Who is telling there should not be the construction of the Ram temple? Who is telling there should not be the development around the Ram temple? Who is telling the airport should not be made? Who is telling
When
the
you
road
say
should
there
not
is
be made?
religious
What kind of
polarization
argument is
happening?
being made?
No,
But
when you say religious polarization is happening,
Religious
basis what?
polarization cannot
You have
happen
to
in one
base
way
that
only.
argument on something.
This is what we blatantly talked about. That it is the Sanatan Dharma on which the politics should be played out. Why? It is a secular country. It is a democratic country.
Define
Today,
secular, Mr.
if it
Mishra.
suits, today if suits
Can I ask
because
him a
it is
question?
80. No, if it is just save you 1 second. If there is 80% Hindus today, and today the Hindu sentiment says you declare this country a Hindu state, and you will get the 80% Hindu vote, and you will become permanently in the power. Are we going to, say that if we oppose that, you are opposing the Sanatan Dharma? You are
No, but
opposing the
nobody's
Hindu
saying
Dharma?
that, and we've not said
Can
that
I-
for
Well,
so
This
many
is
years.
what is being
Again,
told. This
you
is
have
what
to
is
tell me
being
what has
discussed.
happened in the past 10 years for you to
May
come
I?
to this conclusion that tomorrow we're going to declare India to be a Hindu nation.
No, this is what is being,
May I?
indirectly
Okay,
it has
I've
already
run out
been
of time
declared.
completely. I've run out of time completely. 30 seconds, Savio. 30 seconds to you.
The definition of secular, which has been misused in India, does not mean the acceptance of all religion in matters of governance. It means the acceptance of no religion in matters of governance, where the state looks at a citizen as a citizen, not because he's a Hindu or a Christian or a Muslim or a Sikh. And that is what the real essence of secular means. Unfortunately, in India, since the time secular has been introduced in the constitution, it has been the most misinterpreted word. It does not mean acceptance of all religion. It means that a state has to look at you and respect you as a citizen of this country, irrespective of your religion and your caste.
Right.
And that is what this
Okay.
government exemplifies.
Okay, all right. I've completely run out of time.
I strongly disagree with this
Okay,
definition.
Advocate Mishra,
I
I've run out of time.
strongly
I've run out of
disagree
time,
with
but
the
I
definition.
promise you,
Might
because
not
it's
be
political
leading one.
season, you'll
this
have a lot more
definition
of
is
these
because it
opportunities.
suits you. It is-
I've run out of time, so let's wrap it up there. Like I said, it is political season, so unfortunately, we will, of course, continue to have more of these opportunities.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.